Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Yesterday, Damasio said that Eric Bailly has agreed to join AC Milan. In the last few hours, there has been positive signs from Manchester United. AC Milan are looking at an initial loan for Bailly, and they're seeing Bailly as an alternative to Seven Botman. Botman is AC Milan's main target. Eric Bailly is at the African Cup of Nations at the moment. The last game he played for Manchester United was the 3-1 win against Burnley in the final game of last year, but he came off injured in that game and he had to be replaced by Varane. He's injury prone, is Bailly, which is a concern. Back in April last year, he signed a new contract with Manchester United until 2024. Bailly has made 113 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions and he's only scored one goal. That goal came against Swansea quite a few years ago now. Manchester United got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. Manchester United paid £30 million. He was the first signing Jose Mourinho made. So Bailly's been at Manchester United for around 6 years. He doesn't get in the team much because, revert back to last summer, Manchester United signed Raphael Varane, and for some reason Victor Lindelof's preferred to Bailly. Now, I want to give you some news on Anthony Martial. So according to Marca, Sevilla lose interest in Anthony Martial after Manchester United demand. Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Sevilla can't pay Anthony Martial's full salary plus loan fee. Towards the end of last year, Manchester United rejected a loan offer from Sevilla for Martial. Martial's made it clear that he's not interested in making a move to Newcastle. The other week there was rumours about a possible swap deal involving Ousmane Dembele and Martial. I don't want Dembele at Manchester United because he's too injury prone. Martial will leave Man United this year. Rangnick confirmed last year that Martial wants to leave the club as Martial held talks with Rangnick over his future, and Martial's agent confirmed that Martial wants to leave Man United this month. Martial is demanding more game time. He's getting nowhere near enough game time at Manchester United. He's recently been out with injury. He's not good enough to represent the club. The best season Martial enjoyed at Man United was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. And to be fair, it was pretty impressive last season. Manchester United paid an initial fee of £36 million for Martial from Monaco back in 2015. You know, Martial's been at Manchester United for 7 years and he's under contract with the club until 2024. Martial has scored 79 goals in 268 appearances in all competitions. Quite a few players are going to depart the club though this year. Edison Cavani, he will leave Manchester United in the summer. He won't be leaving Manchester United this month. Prior to the game against Villa in the Cup, Ralph Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wants to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Revert back to last Thursday, Edison Cavani had a meeting with Rangnick, and prior to the Wolves game, Rangnick said he desperately wants Cavani to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG, and he was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Cavani's had a couple of injuries this season, by the way. Cavani's been linked with Barcelona last year. It said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Juventus have also been in for him. And last year, Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Manchester United are going to be loaning Amad Diallo out. I've also been hearing that Anthony Elanga could be loaned out to a championship club, but Rangnick wants to keep Anthony Elanga. Anthony Elanga, looks a good asset for the first team squad. Elanga has now made quite a few first team appearances. Elanga came on against Aston Villa in the Cup and he made an impact. He showed good pace, got in some good positions, and he got the crowd going again. Anthony Elanga's been part of the club for a long time. Risen up our academy, and that he joined Man United's academy at the age of 12. Last year, Elanga signed a new long-term contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Juan Mata, there's a good chance that he'll be leaving the club this year. He'll probably leave this month with Juan Mata. Mata will either go back to Spain or he'll go to the MLS. Mata's out of contract at Man United in the summer, because last year Man United extended Mata's contract for a further year. Mata doesn't really get in the team now, plus he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace, but despite all of that, Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata has made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so he has been a long-serving player. We got Juan Mata from Chelsea back in 2014. Manchester United got him for 40 million, brought him in under the David Moyes era. Jesse Lingard, I think he's also leaving the club this year. West Ham want to re-sign Lingard the second half of last season. Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Towards the end of last year, it said Lingard will stay at Manchester United this month to fight for his place under Ralph Rangnick. Lingard doesn't get in the team, but he has been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy and that. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Donny van der Beek, he will probably leave in the summer, as I have been hearing that Van der Beek is not allowed to leave Manchester United this month. He remains keen on leaving Man United in this January transfer window, as Van der Beek held talks with Rangnick to discuss his future. Earlier on in the season, Van der Beek had a bust-up with his agent. Can't blame Van der Beek for wanting to leave though, because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. He hasn't been given enough opportunities under Rangnick. He's only started one game under Rangnick and he didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer. I thought when we got Rangnick that Van der Beek was going to get the opportunities he was demanding under Ole. Van der Beek didn't start against Aston Villa in the Cup, which I was surprised about because I thought he would have started, but he came on against Aston Villa and he made an impact, so he makes the difference, does Van der Beek. He's a very good player. You know, Van der Beek should have gone to Everton last summer. Yeah, Van der Beek's been at Man United for what, 2 years now, is it? Or almost 2 years. And he's only managed to score 2 goals for the club. You know, Manchester United got him for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. He's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Matic, I think Manchester United are also offloading him this year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got. I've always had my reservations about him because he's always been a static midfielder in his aging up, but he has had his good games at Man United. I think Matic is out of contract in the summer. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for around 40 million. Pogba, I think there's a good chance that he'll be leaving in the summer. He won't leave this month. Pogba's out of contract in the summer. Now, the other week, Pogba denied being offered a Manchester United contract. The Sun came out and said that Man United had offered Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract that would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history. Prior to the Villa game, Rangnick gave us an injury update on Pogba. Rangnick said that Pogba's going to be out for at least another 4 weeks. Pogba has got a groin injury. Phil Jones, he'll leave the club as well this year. Jones doesn't really get in the team, does he? But he did play against Wolves the other week because obviously Maguire picked up a knock. Jones was our best player against Wolves and it was his first Premier League appearance since January 2020. That's 2 years ago now. At one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. He's the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. You know, this season is his 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player at the club. Do you think Dalot will leave this year? Dalot's appeared to be our first choice right back under Rangnick. Dalot's had some good games this season to his credit. Dalot picked up an injury in the cup against Villa. I think it was an ankle injury, but he's expected to be available for the game against Villa in the league this Saturday. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that again, some experience, and Man United got Dalot from Porto for around £19 million. Brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. And Dean Henderson, you know the news on him. It says Manchester United will not let Dean Henderson leave this month. Ralph Rangnick has confirmed. You know, Dean Henderson wasn't even part of the squad for Man United's game against Villa in the FA Cup recently. We need to offload Dean Henderson though, because Dean Henderson doesn't hardly get in goal. Because last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. You know, Henderson has only made 2 appearances this season. And earlier on this season, he was out with COVID for a while. Towards the end of last season, though, Henderson got that number 1 jersey. And he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. He regrets signing a new long-term contract at Man United. Was it before the start of last season he signed a 5-year contract with an option of a 6th year? So there you go. Yesterday I give you the news on Dennis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. It's saying, that Manchester United's interest in Dennis Zakaria heats up. Sky Germany said yesterday that Manchester United are in talks to sign Dennis Zakaria. Dennis Zakaria's agents had conversations with Manchester United back in December. Fabrizio Romano has mentioned that Man United remain interested in Zakaria, but he said that Man United have not yet made an official bid. Rangnick appreciates the player. Zakaria, he's 25 years of age, he's a defensive midfielder, and Rangnick's already made it clear that he wants a centre defensive midfielder at Manchester United. He's been at Borussia Mönchengladbach for around 5 years as Zakaria. Borussia Mönchengladbach got him from Young Boys. They paid around €10 million. Zakaria is out of contract at Borussia Mönchengladbach at the end of this season. There's a lot of players that Manchester United have been linked with. Now, revert back to the other week, there was reports coming out saying that Rangnick is already losing the dressing room at Manchester United, and it said 17 Man United players were unhappy, and Rangnick's already under pressure at Man United. But despite that, Rangnick got told that transfer funds are available this month. So reflecting on that, Rangnick will be backed by the Glazers this month. Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for over a month now. So far, he has lost one game as Manchester United manager. We lost to Wolves at Old Trafford the other week, 1-0. That was the first time Wolves won at Old Trafford since 1980. There has been poor performances under Rangnick, but reflecting on that, Rangnick is blameless. I think the players are to blame for the poor performances. The players are the biggest problem at Manchester United at this moment in time because they are not performing. There's a few problems that Rangnick's got to address at Man United, and that's, the squad, the formation. So far Rangnick's stuck with that 4-2-2 formation, but that formation doesn't seem to be working, does it? And also, another problem needs to address, and that's the team selection. Rangnick is the interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did mention that Rangnick would continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years, but I've recently been hearing that the consultancy role is now in doubt for Rangnick. I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will offer Ralph Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. Before Manchester United, he was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Credit Rangnick though, he has made changes since he's come in. He's brought 3 additions in, because he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armas in as an assistant coach, and he brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. And let me put into the equation that Rangnick is inheriting other players from what other managers have brought in. So none of these players are his. Obviously, there's 2 here from the Ferguson era, that's Jones and De Gea. There's still Mata here from the Moyes era that obviously Rangnick's inheriting. There's still some players here from the Louis van Gaal era. There's still quite a few players here from the Mourinho era that Rangnick's inheriting, and there's obviously the players here that Solskjaer brought in. In the summer, I can assure that Manchester United will appoint a permanent manager. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in. You've got to admire the work that Erik ten Hag has done at Manchester United. Has done at Ajax, sorry. Because he has won a couple of titles with Ajax. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. And I like the way he develops young players. Erik ten Hag has been Ajax manager for 5 years now. He's got a contract with Ajax until 2023. Said the other week that Erik ten Hag is leading the race to become Man United's next manager. Before Ajax, Erik ten Hag managed Utrecht. Before then he managed Bayern Munich's reserves. And before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Mauricio Pochettino, there's a good chance that he'll be Manchester United's next permanent manager. The Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that Mauricio Pochettino's move to Manchester United is almost done, and it said Pochettino wants Manchester United and Manchester United want Pochettino, and it said Pochettino will leave PSG by June at the latest. PSG have found their replacement for Pochettino because it said PSG have agreed terms with Zinedine Zidane. Earlier on this season it said Manchester United were prepared to pay the 10 million compensation fee to recommend Pochettino in. Earlier on this season Pochettino came out a few times and said that I'm happy at PSG, and he mentioned that he wouldn't let the Man United rumours distract him. I think Pochettino's got under a year left now on his contract at PSG. I think he's won a French Cup with them. Revert back to when Man United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino's a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League because before he managed Tottenham, he enjoyed a 5.5-year managerial tenure with Tottenham, and in 2018 he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. But analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure at Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. Before Tottenham, Pochettino managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure at Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And before then he managed Espanyol. You know, Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. You know, because Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. You know, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after like 2 years. Man United won the FA Cup under Van Gaal. Then Man United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho enjoyed one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. And last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following that 4-1 defeat to Watford. Solskjaer was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. As you all know, Richard Arnold will become Manchester United's chief executive on the 1st of February. Richard Arnold is replacing Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward is stepping down at the end of this month. Ed Woodward has had a 17-year association at the club. Woodward's been one of the biggest issues at Manchester United for a long time. It got announced back in April last year that Woodward was leaving, you know, when that European Super League came into the equation. I give you the news on Marcus Rashford yesterday. He said Marcus Rashford prepares to open contract talks with Manchester United. Marcus Rashford has 18 months left on his current £200,000 a week deal. Marcus Rashford has made 286 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Marcus Rashford played against Aston Villa in the Cup. He was very, very poor. You know, Rashford has been very, very poor since, you know, he had that operation on his shoulder. He just hasn't been the same player. Rashford missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem. You know, Rashford needs to be dropped. You know, Rangnick admits he doesn't know why Marcus Rashford is struggling, because Rangnick did actually say that Marcus Rashford looked good in training. You know, Rashford's been doing very good things off the pitch. But, you know, at the moment he's not doing good things on the pitch. You know, he looks low on confidence. Reports from Spain said earlier on this season that Marcus Rashford could leave Man United, as Barcelona and PSG were said to be interested. Rashford, you know, has been part of the club for a long time. You know, came up our academy, and that he's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And, you know, the news on Ronaldo as well. Ronaldo missed Manchester United's FA Cup third round tie against Aston Villa due to a minor muscular problem. But the good news is that Rangnick confirmed that the injury wasn't too serious. So Ronaldo should be available to play against Aston Villa in the league this Saturday. PSG have been hearing are interested in Ronaldo. Not so long ago, Ronaldo held crisis talks with his agent George Mendes about his future. You know, Ronaldo's actually said he wants to leave Man United if the club's next manager isn't to his liking. Earlier on in the season, Ronaldo came out and said that I'm not happy at Manchester United. But Ronaldo's agent George Mendes actually said that Ronaldo is very happy at Manchester United. So that's it. On my next video, I'll be giving you my preview for the Man United Villa game. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.